Alright, subpart A, introduction and approval of the reports. This part describes the specification of the tanks that are mounted on on or form of the part of the tanker car which are marked with the DAT specification. Except when provided with the paragraph in the section, the tank with the parts for the applicable must be built with the specification prescribed in this part. Tanks built with the specification pertaining those any of the parts may continue the use provided with 108.507 of the subchapter. Any person who performs the function described in this part, they shall perform the function in accordance with this part. When this part requires the tank to mark with the DAT specification, for example, the DAT 105A 100W, compliance with the requirements of this responsibility tanker builder. Marking of the tank within the DAT specification shall be understood and certify the compliance by the builder that the functions performed by the builder are prescribed with this part and that have been performed with the compliance with this part. The tanker builder shall inform each of the person with whom the tank is transferred for any of the end specifications requirements which have not been met at the time of the transfer. Definition, abbreviation. The following apply to Part 179. AAR means Association of American Railroad. Approved means the approval of the AAR Tanker Car Committee. ASTM means American Society Testing Material Reserved. For number definitions, Part 173. The chapter also applies. F means Fahrenheit. NGT means National Gas Tapered Threads. NPT means the American Standard for the Tapered Pipe Treaded Thread conforming to the requirements of the NBS Book HG 28 IBRC 171.7 for the subchapter reserved. 10. Tanker car capacity, meaning of any of the manufacturer repairs, inspection, testing, quantity of the maintenance of the tank of the form up to this part. Maintenance for the tank and cars to ensure that the tanker car conforms to this part. Subpart F of this part. 180 subpart chapter for the all terms of the certificate of the construction of the tank of the ensure for the continuity of the qualification for the tanker car performing a function prescribed in Part 179, 180. But the subchapter this makes the representation indicating the compliance with one or more of the requirements for this Part 179, 180 of the subchapter. 11. Tanks means the tanker car tanks tanks mean tanker car tanks and be reserved. Procedure for securing approval. Application for approval to design materials construction for the conversion of the alteration tank car tanks and under the specification complete with the detailed prints must be submitted to described from the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety Association, American Railroad for consideration for the Tanker Car Committee with the other appropriate committee. Approval of the rejection of application based on the appropriate committee with the action will be issued with the Executive Director when in the opinion of the committee with such tanks and equipment that are compliant with the requirements of the subchapter of the application will be approved. When such tanks and requirements are compliant with the requirements of the subchapter, the committee may be recommended to service the trials. The determined must be meet the change of the specification for the such service trials may be conducted with only if the builder shipper applies and obtains the special permit. 179.4. Change the specification for the tanker cars. Proposed change for the additional specification tank for the subcommittee with the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety of the AAR for the consideration of the Tanker Car Committee and an application for the construction of the tanks. Any new specification may be submitted with the proposed specification. Construction should not be started until the specification has been approved with the special permit that has been issued with the proposing the new specification. Application shall furnish the information for the justified new specification. The data shall include the property for the landing and the method of loading with the unloading. The Tanker Car Committee will review and propose specification. It is the early of convenience report and recommendations through Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety of the Department. But the recommendation will consider the Department in determining the appropriate action. 179.5. Certificate of construction. Before the tanker car is placed in service, the part of the assembly of the complete with the car shall be furnished with the certificate and construction form AR42 with the owner of the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety, AR, certifying that the tank and equipment are fully conform to the requirements of the specification. When the car and the tanker cars are covered with one application identical with the details built in series, the one certification will specify for each of the series when submitted with the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety, AAR. If the owner elects to furnish the service equipment, the owner of the shall furnish for the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety, the AAR, to report the prescribed perform, certifying the surface of the equipment complying with all the requirements of the specification. When the car and the tank switch over the covered with the one application identical with all details are built with the series one certificate shall specify with each of the series that is submitted with the Executive Director, Tanker Car Association, AAR, with a copy of the certificate. Construction must be furnished with the Executive Director, Tanker Car Safety, AAR, for each of the car number of the consecutively number of the groups covered by the original application. 179.6. Repairs and alteration for procedure filed with the making of the repairs and alteration appendix R for the AAR specification for the tanker cars IBR and the C179 171.7 for the subchapter 179.7. Quality Assurance Program. At the minimum, each tanker car of the facility shall have the quality of the assurance program approved by the AAR, ensure for the finished product with the conform with the requirements for the application specification regulations of the subchapter. As the means of, to detect any of the nonconformity, manufacturing, repair, inspection, testing, qualification for the maintenance program of the tanker car prevents the nonconformity for occurring. The minimum of the quality assurance of the program must have the following elements: one, statement of authority responsibility of the person in charge of the quality assurance, and an organization chart showing the interrelationship between the managers, the engineers, purchasing, construction, and inspection, testing, and quality control personnel procedures to ensure the latest applicable drawings, design, calculations, specifications, but instructions are used for the manufacturer, inspection, testing, and repair for procedures to ensure that the fabrication and construction materials were received are properly identified and documented. Description of manufacturer, repair, inspection, testing, qualification, maintenance program, including the acceptance criteria, so that the inspector can identify the characteristics of the tanker, the elements from the inspector, with the examine test each of the point, monitoring the control of the process, the production of the characteristics during the production, the procedure for the correction, non-conformity of the provision indicating with the requirements for the AAR specification for the tanker cars, IBR 171 type of the chapter applied with the qualification requirements of the personal performing the non-destructive specification of the test. 10. Procedure for the evaluating the inspection with the testing technique employed, including the accessibility of the area, sensitivity, the reliability, inspection testing technique, minimum detectable crack length, procedure for the periodic calibration measurement of the inspection testing equipment, systems of maintenance and record inspection testing, and interpretation and inspection testing results. Each tanker car facility shall ensure only the personnel qualified for each of the non-destructive inspection testing for the particular attention. Each tanker car shall have the proven written procedure for the employee to ensure that the working on the tanker car conforms with the specification. AAR approved the owner of the MA acceptance criteria. Each of the tanker car facility shall train the employee in accordance with the subpart H from the part 172 of the subchapter on the program. Procedures for the paragraph B of the section and ensure the quantity. No tanker car facility may manufacture, repair, and inspect, test, and qualify, maintain tanker cars subject to the requirements for the subchapter unless it was operating in conformance with the quality assurance program written with the procedures prescribed for the paragraph A and B of this section. 179.8. Limitation of the actions by state and local governments, Indian tribes. Section 5125 and 2106, Title 49 U.S. Standard Code limit the authority of the state's political subdivision, states, Indian tribes to impose the requirements for the transportation of hazardous material and commerce of state and local Indian tribe requirements for the transportation of hazardous material of the rail may be permitted under the Title 49 CFR Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 5125 and 20106 both. Section 171.1f of the subchapter describe the circumstances under which Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 5125 and preempt the requirement of the state political subdivision of state and Indian tribe. Under the Federal Railroad Safety Act of Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20106, administrative of the Federal Railroad Administration, see the Title 49 CFR Part 204. 200 to 244 laws of the regulation order related to the railroad safety and according to security that shall be national uniform to the extent of the practical. State may adopt and continue to enforce the law, regulation, and order covering the same subject matter of the regulation order applicable to the railroad safety and security, including the requirements of in the subpart, only when additional more stringent state law, regulations, or order than necessary to eliminate or reduce the essential local safety and security hazard is not incompatible with the law, regulations, or order of the United States government and does not unreasonably burden interstate commerce. Subpart D, general design requirements.